And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's actually good evening, wherever you're in the world. Welcome to FPL, don't panic. We are about an hour before last game of the game week. I'm just going to give a little review where I'm at the moment. And the answer is to that question is I don't really know, to be honest with you. 71 points with one to play on any other game week, I'd probably say is not generally a bad result. But of course, I took 12 points in hits. So how did that go for me? And the answer is good and bad. Let's start. We'll do just a quick review. It's obviously the game week's not finished. Start Petrovic or Dubravka. Well, I said it was a toss of a coin. I said that I expected Petrovic to get some save points, and he did, which hopefully at least meant he got 2 points out of the game. But Dubravka did very similarly as well. So nothing to report there really. Both had fixtures where I didn't expect a clean sheet, and I got exactly what I expected. Timber, great, still happy with him as a choice, just a 6-pointer. But I do think I have got the right Arsenal double up, not triple up. I don't think I've got the right triple up, but certainly in terms of the double up on defence, absolutely think that was the right decision. And Timber and Gabriel, the right choices there. And Timber, for my money, in open play, has the best chance of getting attacking returns in the coming weeks. But if he just ticks along at 6 points as he has been doing for me since I brought him in, fine. But yeah, let's hope that somewhere in there is a goal or an assist. No chance of DEFCON with Timber though, absolutely no chance whatsoever. Lacroix, good to see a return to form, 8-pointer. Yeah, so that's he's looking like he's sort of finding a nice level of consistency, obviously with the DEFCON. I know a lot of people have sort of downgraded to a Richards. I wouldn't mind upgrading at some point to a Manaz, but not a priority in the current situation. Then we come to a hit, Gabriel. If we do it on a like for like, I still don't know the outcome of that, but I'm obviously happy with the 12-pointer. But Tarkowski is still to play. And sod's bloody law is that Tarkowski, given, and we'll come to where some of the other hits haven't worked, sod's bloody law is Tarkowski will do something tonight. Clean sheet, DEFCON, and an attacking return. Just the bloody way my luck's going with this. But am I happy to have Gabriel in now? Yes, absolutely. And going forward, he has been phenomenal. He's showing like averages of 9 or 10 now per game week. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The other hit, don't know the outcome yet. We've got Mukiele still to come. Everton at home. I'll tell you where my thing is. If we look at my bench points there, you know, I've got Mukiele there, Caicedo. I said to the missus, 10 minutes before deadline, give me a name, Caicedo or Mukiele. And of course, I bloody played Mukiele, and I've got that 10 points from Caicedo on the bench.
I told you should have picked bloody Caicedo.
She did, you know. Yeah, so that hurt. And I'll tell you what gets me. This is like this is like the Caicedo is like the Wood effect last year, where I refused to get in or I didn't play and just kept points after points, and you've got all the bloody lot of content providers going, oh, no, you can't go Caicedo, it's not sustainable. I didn't buy him for sustainable attacking returns. I bought him because he was supposed to be a steady 4 or 5 pointer in my midfield at a ridiculously cheap price. And his price is going up and up now. Happily I did get him early, but I've hardly been playing him. Need to just put him in the team. His numbers are not spectacular in terms of expected goals or expected assists, but yet he still keeps bloody getting them. But he is getting his DEFCON regularly. Chelsea are keeping clean sheets. They've got a couple of great fixtures coming up now. Obviously, I need to just play him. Just play him because he's just just been incredibly steady. Anyway, back to the case in point. Yeah, McClellan still to come. Everton home. Could really do with a clean sheet there and turn that 71 pointer, into 77 or a 78, or maybe they did a bit of DEFCON, maybe more. Maybe I could hit the 80, and it softens the blow of the -12 because we move into the areas where the hit absolutely has not worked. Foden. I said Foden return. I did. As soon as I transferred him out, he's going to return. Of course he is. Blank, 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 blank. There's cells. Gets a return. And of course, then Mbumo got nada. Nothing. Got 2 points. So that one clearly hasn't worked. So, Saka. I will keep the faith. You should have had 2 goals in that game. Anyone that had Gyökeres, you must have been tearing your hair out. Gyökeres played really well in that game for my money. Obviously got his goal, but he played really well in that game. But obviously could be injured now. But 2 balls through to Saka, and Saka absolutely should have buried one of them. Probably should have buried the other one in truth as well. Saka should have had a haul. So on that basis, I am having regrets. Yes, that I didn't go, because I pretty much was a towing cost a few weeks ago when I brought Saka in between him and Rice, and I went with Saka, but clearly Rice, as it stands at the moment, would have been the right, or the better choice. Rice would have been the better choice. However, I maintain the faith that Saka will start to haul soon. Please. Semenyo. It's the other little worry. I did say last week that it feels like Semenyo has dropped off a little bit. And is it just me, or has it coincided with Evan Nielsen not being in the team? And is Evan Nielsen just better suited with Semenyo? As much as I quite like Krupi Jr., I might even buy Krupi Jr. in a week or so. Just when I do the sort of downgrade and the front four to release a load of money. Not beyond the realms, so I might buy Krupi Jr. But is Semenyo just better suited for that partnership with Evan Nielsen rather than Krupi Jr. playing that more a proper striker's role? It's a little bit of a worry. He has dropped off. There's no question his numbers have dropped off, but he has been so bloody good. Certainly won't be leaving the team anytime soon. And there is a nice fixtures turn coming for Bournemouth in a few game weeks' time. Right, the other hit that did not work. Voltamide, of course. João Pedro returned. That's the other one I said in the last video. I said João Pedro will absolutely get a brace now that I brought in Voltamide after all the frustrations with João Pedro. So he didn't get a brace, but he should have had a brace, and he should have had 2 assists. But even just getting that goal was painful. As soon as it went in, knew it, absolutely bloody knew it. Question now is, Voltamide substituted at half-time. What does that mean? Newcastle's form away. I mean, this is the other thing as well. Hindsight, Captain fucking hindsight. Bringing in Voltamide, and in that same video where I brought in Voltamide, I actually did a review of home and away form for teams, and Newcastle's form, which I pointed out was absolutely atrocious compared to their home form. But it was balanced out with West Ham's form in general, but especially at home, been absolutely awful. And Voltamide was, generally in a bit of form. And West Ham pulled out that performance, and Newcastle were atrocious. And Voltamide got hooked at half-time. Would it be the craziest thing in the world to do to buy João Pedro back? Because that João Pedro that I saw in that game, the João Pedro I saw in the Chelsea game, I should say, obviously not in the Newcastle West Ham game. The João Pedro I saw in that Chelsea match is the João Pedro that I thought I was buying. I thought I was buying Pele, and I ended up getting, I don't know, anyone you care to mention that's not Pele. It's just been Crouch. No, Crouch was actually pretty good. Heskey had his moments as well. Anyway, you know what I mean. I thought the player that I thought I was getting was not what I got. Week after week, not a shot for 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Not a single fucking shot. And in that game against Spurs, more shots in 90 minutes than he had taken for the whole bloody season, even with the flying start. Would it be stupid to buy him back for Wolves? and Burnley, who are clearly now, without a shadow of a doubt, the two teams to target. And he's got those in the next two games. Going to think on that. No decisions need to be made. Of course, I'm buying him back at a cheaper price because João Pedro has dropped in price since I sold him. Mateta, fantastic, lovely. Just keep doing what you're doing at the moment. But interestingly, the first time this season, he scored above his expected goals. And they do say these things balance out across the season, because for the previous weeks he's been performing massively under his expected goals. So we're going to start to see that balance out now. I hope so, because that means there is a goal glut coming. And Haaland doing his Haaland thing. Of course he is. Happily, I kept the captain's armband on him. I said, and I didn't say it very seriously, is anyone going to be brave enough to captain Gabriel? And then after I finished that last video, I thought, should I actually captain Gabriel? And when he came in with that 12-pointer, I was like, oh, why didn't I just do it? Happily, Haaland, the regret was short-lived, because Haaland's obviously come in with a very decent haul once again. So that's where we're at. Minus 12. I'm actually have dropped to 816,737. Obviously, largely because of the minus 12. But interestingly enough, that is pretty much exactly where I was at the beginning of the game week. So on that basis, actually not too unhappy, but it shows what a high scoring game week it is for me to have started at 816,000 and got all those points and still be at 816,000. As I said, I think it's about game week 5, I think it was, where I was trying to recover from a drop to 3 million, I think it was then. That objectives for the next 5 game weeks up to game week 10 is to get into the top 1 million. Now, hopefully I'll still be in the top 1 million by the end of game week 10, and I'd be reasonably happy with that, given that I'm actually quite happy with my squad at the moment. There are a few areas I'd like to change, but generally I'm actually pretty happy with that as a squad. A few tweaks to come, talk about those in a minute. But it's actually not that good when you really think about it. At one point I was inside the top 300,000 for a couple of weeks in a row, but then I had the disaster game week, and then I've obviously taken these hits to try and correct a few things, namely the lack of the double Arsenal defence. That was actually the correct thing to do. Yeah, minus 12. Shouldn't really be doing that, should I? But it's done, and you know what? If I stay in the top 1 million, fine, it's done. The squad actually looks pretty good, and looks good with the game weeks, next few game weeks, where I can maybe just make some tweaks to meet the Liverpool fixture turn. Do I bring in someone for these couple of Chelsea fixtures? Not quite sure where I'll go there if it isn't João Pedro. Not too many places I can go, to be honest with you, if I don't go João Pedro. Let's just have a little look at how we are actually looking for game week 11, and do I make any changes. I think as a team it doesn't actually look too bad. Again, just have to make a decision. Petrovic, Aston Villa away, or Dubravka, West Ham United away. But weirdly, I feel that Bournemouth may have a better chance of a clean sheet at Villa than Burnley away to West Ham. Now, once these fixtures are out of the way, then I've actually got some decent fixtures and rotations for that goalkeeping duo. But I always knew these were going to be a tough couple of games. But their average, for the time that I've had them, they're hitting my 5-point average with the rotations I've done, so I've got no real problems with that. Timber, Sunderland away, Lacroix, Brighton home, Gabriel, Sunderland away, Senesi, Aston Villa away. Probably a DEFCON day, but you don't know. Villa, not still, I don't think they're pulling up any trees. They don't look as though they are lacking oomph up front. Doesn't look too bad. Caicedo, Wolves at home. Lovely. Could this be? Do I finally get a Caicedo haul? Semenyo, Villa away. I hope to see Evan Nielsen back starting. I think he's a better asset whenever Nielsen plays with him. Be interesting to see. Be interesting to see. He's certainly not on any last warnings at the moment. Semenyo, he's been too good, and he will start hauling again. I suspect it's going to be more likely once they get Evan Nielsen back in the team. I just think he's a better attacking asset with that duo. Saka, Sunderland away. He's on a little bit of a warning at the moment. Saka's a lot of money invested in there. You know, I expect me 7-point average, and he's not really getting close to that at the moment. And Bumo, Tottenham away. Tottenham are pretty atrocious at home. United, not the greatest result against Forest, but we know that United will score goals now. I think we kind of know that now, particularly at home, and there are some great home fixtures to come after this fixture. But even away from home, United will score goals, but they will also concede goals. And Mateta, Brighton home. I think that's a great fixture. Haaland, Liverpool at home. I'm keeping the captain's armband on him. I think a few will probably move away from him and maybe, I don't know, go for a Gabriel. There may be some other good options out there. Maybe Saka. Even Mateta, Brighton home's not a bad option, is it? I think I'm going to stay with Haaland, because it might be one of the few times and that a couple of Haaland goals will actually help your rank, and he still will be the highest captain. So a bit of you can never call him a differential. He'll still hit 60, 70, 80% captaincy, but it won't be the 85s or 90s I think that we've had really for the last 3, 4, 5 game weeks. On the bench, Voltamide, Mukiele, and Dewsbury Hall, somewhat reluctantly. Fulham are not so hot away from home. But who would I take out if I was to play Dewsbury Hall? It'd probably be Sinisi, I think. So something to think about there. As I say, I'll have a close look at this match later on. That's how we're lining up. Not unhappy with that. So the questions then become: is there any way? Do I roll? This is it. That's the team. Roll. International break. Come out the international break with a couple of transfers. I'm ready to make some changes towards the Liverpool fixture turn, or maybe I do want to bring in a Chelsea asset. Maybe I do want to bring Saka down to a rise, free up some money. Spreadsheet's not fully updated. I'm making a few changes, and obviously the game week is not over. Let's just bring it up just for a quick look. Make yourself smaller in the corner there. We can get that as large as we can for visibility. Here we go. Okay, so first things first, there's things here I haven't updated yet. Obviously we haven't had Mukiele's game yet. Everton at home this evening, who's currently showing a 7. The first thing probably to point out is my prediction for game week 9, which I've just still kept in there, was 69 to 73 points, and currently sitting on 71. So that means Mukiele is only going to get 2 points tonight, and I bet that's what happens. We'll review that when the whole game week's done. But what I'm kind of pleased about, after falling off the rails for the last game week or two, that my prediction looks as though it should be getting more accurate and hopefully getting me back to that 70 points per game week consistency. Team at the moment, with game week 10 not complete, without captaincy, is showing a 58, which means that currently, depending on what Mukiele does, if I was to put out this exact team, I'd be predicting a 70 pointer for game week 11. But I'd probably be bringing in Caicedo, who's got an average of 5.6, and that would be most likely coming in truth, for Mukiele, and going to a that's pretty much where I think I would be going. Not have to update this further. I'm also going to be updating this fixture ticker, probably to show more accurately, now that we've got 10 games out of the way, fixture difficulty rating. For instance, probably for Arsenal, with Timber there and Gabriel, Sunderland there in game week 11. Yeah, that probably is still a green fixture, I think, for them. But I've got Sunderland in there again. Anyway, someone else, if it was Bournemouth, say for instance, travelling to Sunderland away, probably more a blue fixture, wouldn't you think, with given Sunderland are pretty decent at home. So I'm going to be doing a pretty major update on the spreadsheet in terms of fixture difficulty rating and starting to think about who might I bring in. So the big question, I suppose, the first one is, do I do a transfer in game week 11? Given Chelsea obviously have got just fine. Where's Casado? Just want to see. Yeah, Wolves at home, Burnley away, and then indeed Leeds away in game week 14, Bournemouth at home in 15. Do we think about bringing in another Chelsea asset? But who do I move out? The only one really realistically there at the moment would be to actually take out Walter Meade and bring João Pedro back in. But is it actually worth it for a 2-game punt? Because then that might block me. Then what I might want to do in 12-13 with the Liverpool because Liverpool do have this lovely fixture run coming, and I certainly do want to look towards upgrading Dewsbury Hall. So it's kind of going to block that move, whereas, or I certainly wouldn't be able to do it in one. I will need a couple of transfers. It could be bringing a Saka down to a Rice and then turning Dewsbury Hall into Gapco. That makes sense. Or it could be turning Voltamide into Krupi Jr. Or do I bring him down to a Thiago and that free up some money that way? But don't think that would get me. No, that wouldn't get me Dewsbury Hall up to a Gapco. Would it get me to a Zobislai? Maybe. I don't know. These are a couple of the things that I'm thinking of. So, in all honesty, bloody waffle. Although it's going to scare me a little bit what João Pedro could do against, Burnley, if he plays like he did in this last game. I think I'm going to roll. And you all know how hard it is for me to say that. I'm not very good at rolling. I do like doing my transfers and trying to tweak things, but I think this is probably the one. As if I was to say, I set myself an objective every 5 game weeks. My last one was to be in the top 1 million. We'll know in a couple of hours by end of game week 10. Given that I was at about 3 million at game week 5, hopefully I should be there or thereabouts with that. And you never know what might, maybe Mukiele is going to be this week's Van de Ven. I live in hope. More likely he's just going to get his 2 points and I hit the 73 points as projected. So I think I'm going to roll. But as we look to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I would definitely like to roll for 1 or 2 weeks, get to 13, do those tweaks for the Liverpool fixture turn, a couple of other areas, and then hopefully set up and roll again with another couple more transfers as we hit 15, and then obviously we get to 16 with the 5 transfers. And so we could do a mini wildcard, or we just actually tweak as we go along and keep those 5 transfers up our sleeves, because at the moment I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think my only AFCON Cup guy there at the moment is Mbumbo. Anyway, that's it. Kick off in 15-20 minutes. Fingers crossed Mukiele pulls off a little miracle for me. I will be back in a day or so's time with the final wash up and with Bishop Brennan Cup, and the big news is the retirement of the Bishop Brennan Cup, which is getting replaced by the Bishop Brennan Cup with an actual bishop's hat on it. So I know it's a chess piece, but I was just took a random look in a trophy shop the other day and I said, I wonder if they've got anything suitable here for my Bishop Brennan trophy, as opposed to the little crappy thing that I've got. And Caroline, my missus, just picked up this. How about this? Perfect. So it actually has got Bishop Brennan Cup engraved on it. So that will get presented on a weekly basis, but at the end of the season that will get packed in the New Zealand goodie bag and go to the winner of the overall league. So it'll be presented on a weekly basis as I normally do, but it will also go into the New Zealand goodie bag, which will go somewhere in the world to whoever wins the overall league. That's it. Take care, have fun, play your own game, don't panic. Hope you've all had fantastic game weeks. Amazing scores in the league this week. I'll see you in a couple of days' time.